What's up, everyone? John's Borgonzo here. Another episode of What's Next, your daily dose as always. Happy Wednesday. Well, of course, as you can see and hear, I am still under the weather, so sorry about that, but still not going to stop me from doing what I love to do. Bill Burr, comedian, yes, savage Bill Burr, rips the WNBA and blames it on the Feminazis, and of course, Lebron James is still a bitch. Let's take a look. This comes out of Outkick. Bill Burr rips feminists for not supporting WNBA. None of you went to the fucking games. True. Bill Burr's looking for those feminists using their hairy armpits to hide behind the fact that they're talking on both sides of their ass when it comes to supporting fellow women, specifically when it relates to struggling WNBA. In his new Netflix comedy, Bill Burr live at the Red Rocks, the comedian takes aim at feminazis who complain about the difference in pay between men and women's sports and recognizing very real differences in popularity and revenue. You know the type. Pink hair, kneel during the national anthem, the type of mug that suggests they eat Camel Lights for breakfast. Nice. Quote, look at the WNBA. They've been playing in front of 300 to 400 people a night for a quarter of a century. Not to mention, it's a male-subsidized league, Burr said during the special. We gave you a league and none of you showed up. Where are all the feminists? That place should be packed with feminists, face painted, wearing jerseys, going nuts like the guys do. He tweeted, it took a pandemic, but the ESPN is finally going to give WNBA the coverage it's dreamed of. Burr, who previously took aim at women's groups and suggesting they apologize for assuming Johnny Depp was guilty before it brought to light that Amber Heard lies like a rug and treats mattresses like litter boxes. That's good. Further continued his verbal beatdown on the failed feminists. None of you went to the fucking games. You failed them. Not me, not men. Women failed the WNBA. Ladies, name your top 5 WNBA players of all time. Top 5 WNBA teams. Name the WNBA team in your city. You can't do it. If there were ever a perfect time to drop the mic, that was it. But Burr kept coming. Cancel culture be damned. The 54-year-old comedian pointed out that women have made the Kardashians and Real Housewives unbelievably wealthy and popular while continuing to tear down other women for the world to see. That's the message you send. We rather watch than a bunch of women come together as a team and try to achieve a common goal. We'd rather watch them absolutely destroy each other, Burr pointed out. And then in the end, you come back and you yell at the fucking guys. You come back and yell at us for not supporting you, but then you don't yell at the other women for not supporting you. The fuck? Making sure not to skip over Feminazi's version of America's team, Burr also addressed the near constant complaints from the United States women's national soccer team, who were recently given pay equal to the men's team after years of complaining. And of course, I will get to that. Quote, you're playing in a 20,000 seat arena. 1,500 people show up. That's not a good night, exclaimed Burr. The promoter lost his ass on that gig. Make no mistake, feminazis really do hate balls, even those bouncing within the WNBA. Now we go from that to this. This comes out of the New York Post. LeBron James backtracks on his comments about Brittany Griner's situation. Early on Tuesday, a trailer for the latest episode of The Shop showed LeBron James saying that he isn't sure he would come back to the U.S. if he were Brittany Griner. Now he's, of course, backtracking on those comments, as Lebroney does. James always said in the clip, she's been there for over 110 days. Now, how could she feel like America wants her back? I would be feeling like, do I even want to go back to America? The full episode will be released on Friday, so no further context could be provided on the statement before James spoke out Tuesday evening. The Lakers star now claims, quote, he wasn't knocking our beautiful country with his comments on the show. James tweeted his comments weren't a shot at the U.S., but rather was sympathizing with Griner. I was simply saying how she probably feels emotionally, along with so many other emotions, thoughts, etc., inside that cage. She's been there for 100+ days. James finished off his tweet with a bring her home hashtag and tags fans that have been using to bring awareness to Griner's situation. This is his official tweet. Quote, my comments on the shop regarding Brittany Griner wasn't knocking a beautiful country. I was simply saying how she probably feeling emotionally along with so many other emotions, thoughts, etc. inside the cage, blah, 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 100+ days. My thoughts. Well, the fact of the matter is that LeBron, well, I'm not going to, let me not talk on LeBron first. Let me talk on the initial. Bill Burr is a savage. Bill Burr is an absolute savage, and he's 1,000% correct in regards to the WNBA and regarding feminazis not supporting that league. The men created the WNBA. They subsidize, the NBA subsidize the WNBA. So without the men's league, there is no WNBA, period. If the WNBA were to pull up stakes now, Commissioner Silver said, yeah, you know what, we're done. We're done. You guys are good enough to support yourself. No, absolutely not. That league would collapse in less than 2 years because no money's coming into it. Again, you have a 20,000 seat stadium, and when you only have 400 to 500 people show up, that's not good. Not good. But you're right. You got women complaining all the time, beating up other women, but then when your venture fails, you blame the men. No, that's not how it works. Either you can support yourself, which of course, you want to be all empowered and be all WaMen, hear me roar. But yet, when it comes to the WNBA, that's a perfect example of a league that's been in existence for 25 years under the NBA's rule. And yet you guys still can't support yourself because you don't have the demand for it. There's not a demand for women's basketball professionally. There's just not. So when you have the ESPN wokes and, Sports Illustrated, douchebags and others, propping you up and saying that you guys are all great when you're really not, it's not a knock against women. It's not being sexist. It's just being factual. There is, there is no demand when the supply is not good enough. Sorry. And Bill Burr is absolutely right. LeBron James. Of course, LeBron James was going to backpedal because that's what Lebroney does best. Backpedal, because Lebroney is a bitch at the end of the day. A China-loving bitch. And as long as he gets paid, he's all happy. Now, Brittany Griner did say earlier that if it were LeBron James, who was in a Russian prison, that Dementia Boy would do everything in his power to bring him home. I can't say no. I can't say no to that. But when it comes to LeBron making that crack, he meant what he said. He knew exactly what he was saying regarding it. Why would you want to come back to America? America's so racist. It's so hateful and so phobic. Why do you want to come back here? Why? Because you make the monies here. You make this here. You make the cheddar. That's why LeBron doesn't leave, because LeBron knows that he can only make the money here. Brittany Griner can only make her money here. She couldn't do it anywhere else. She couldn't do it in Europe. If she played for Europe, she couldn't make the money that she would make here in the U.S. playing for Europe. She knows it. So, again, LeBron's crying and whining and bitching and moaning because that's what LeBron does best. But when somebody stands up and says, hey, you know what? China, you guys are abusing people. China, you're human, human atrocities going on in your country. China, you're an evil country. No, James, listen, you're uneducated. You don't know what China truly is. China's government loves America. As long as this keeps flowing, James is a happy camper. And as for Brittany Griner, she's still in the Russian gulag. I mean, what are you going to do? And with that being said, I'm Jazz Gonzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more just like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share, subscribe to it. And hopefully I feel better. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.